Hello and welcome to the Foodeshow. Today we have Hugh Simpson, and he is a very interesting person, and we would like to know more about you. So, Hugh, can you give us a description? I understand that you're Australian and also English, and I know that you're living in Ukraine. Can you elaborate?
Yes. So thank you very much for having me. And it's really good to talk today about, Industry 4.0. But my background is Australian. You can probably hear the slight accent. I was living in London a few years ago, and some of my colleagues were involved with a business that had a major operation, an IT operation in Ukraine. And somehow they convinced me to relocate to Kiev. So I've been here for a few years and absolutely loving it, and living here in Ukraine, for the foreseeable future. So a long journey over the last 20 years to get here.
Wonderful. We were so happy to have you, and thank you so much for accepting our invite to speak on the Foodeshow in its first edition. So tell us more about Industry 4.0. I understand that you are very specific about the companies that you cater to, and let us know how you can save them time and also improve their productivity through all, what do you call Industry 4.0 at the moment?
Yeah, so Ciklum is a software development company and digital transformation company. Our tagline is inspiring businesses to bring innovative ideas to life, and we deliver that across interactive applications, e-commerce, and the like. We do it with data and analytics, which is the part of the business I'm in, managed services, and quality engineering and cloud adoption. So we do the full range of activities with about 3,500 developers around the world in Ukraine, Poland, Belarus, Spain, and also in Pakistan. And really, in my area of the business, we concentrate on three areas. Business and analytics, so that's your standard BI and MI type activities. Doing AI and machine learning. And the third one is those custom data platforms that bring Industry 4.0 to life. And for us working in Industry 4.0, it's not just getting any old device and connecting it to a data platform. It's the full end-to-end journey from a custom device, whether we build it, and we have a team that do that, right through to ingesting that data, streaming it, consuming it, and then delivering the insights to the business. It really is an end-to-end journey.
Yes, so it's end-to-end and it's very detailed, and I understand, and I'm so impressed. You have 3,500 people throughout the world that are helping, and you can also develop not prototypes, but basically you can build yourself whatever is needed for the industry to be working and not off the shelves.
That's correct. So when an off-the-shelf kind of solution doesn't work for you, what we do is work with you to build a proof of concept. It might be just using standard IoT cores, but it is tailored to your very, very specific needs. So we've had transport and logistics companies that want something very, very specific. We've had health monitoring devices, affordable health monitoring devices for neonatal care in Africa that we've built for. And we've also worked at the top end of town with some high-grade medical devices, as well as we help with a range of use cases there. But really, they're great to be able to do that, but where you actually drive the value from, and going to your point about how to gain time and productivity, is how do you connect that? How do you consolidate all your data from the devices and your business, enrich it with whatever you need from third parties, and then derive the insights that turn into action for your business?
So if my understanding is right about Industry 4.0, it's basically the fourth revolution, where you have everything that is integrated, connected, and be able to, like you said, machine learn and artificial intelligence that would be able to make decisions and interact with human beings, if my understanding is right. So now on that level, in your expert opinion, how long does it take to set up something like that? If the client is very clear about what he wants, how long does it take to for a project to see the light?
I mean, I would love every client to be 100% clear of what they want, but the reality is we need to work together, need to understand the problem. And I always say, ask the right business question first. What are the problems you're trying to solve? You can deploy a device, an off-the-shelf software as a service, Industry 4.0 IoT solution, and you can start to see it. But really, if it's not connected to the business value, you're not going to see the return on your investment. So what I would say to normal clients is there's a period of discovery there where we try and link the business value to what you're doing. Forget about the cool fancy tech you've got. What is the business problem you're trying to solve? Then going into proofs of concept, taking a very much a product-led approach of a fail fast, but fail forward in my view, approach allows you to go and test certain things. Is it an off-the-shelf device with this back end? Okay, that didn't work. Let's try something new. If you do that, you're going to save a bit of money in the long run because you're going to make less mistakes. And then once you've gone through, say, a proof of concept phase for 2-3 months, then you can start thinking about, well, let's build this production roadmap. That could be a multi-year experience, as I've had with a past client, a rail operator who spent about 6 months or so designing the architecture, going backwards and forwards, designing the architecture, when really all we needed to do was just get out there and start building things and starting to get the data feeding through. They're on a journey, a multi-year journey for their business. But smaller operations in agriculture environment, for what's related here, you can actually deploy and start seeing value in sort of 3 to 6 months.
That's impressive. I want to go back to the fail forward. I like that idea. Fail forward is very interesting because we don't fail, we actually gain experience, and that's very important when it comes to manufacturing specifically, because sometimes you can design whatever you would like to design on paper and it does not work on the fluxes. Like you have to counter in a lot of things, especially the human resources, because nothing is perfect and you have to live with it. I like that idea. And I do understand, like most of the people that will be coming to the Food E-show are probably into manufacturing and distribution. And I know that there's a lot of efforts into integrating these two parts from manufacturing all the way to the client, and be able to have all the data, that we have to all the insights, improve the consumer experience, improve the product, personalize the product. Do you have any examples? You use examples on that category?
Yes. So, food security obviously is a huge issue, and part of food security is being able to get things from the paddock to the plate, as Meat and Livestock Australia would talk about their journey from paddock to plate. And at each stage of that journey, there are key elements that need or have data tracking. So I go back to a logistics client of ours who needed to track their vehicles. It wasn't just because they wanted to track their vehicles for the sake of it. What they wanted to do was optimize the routes. They wanted to use machine learning and advanced analytics to optimize the routes so they can get to places as quickly as possible. They also wanted to monitor the quality of their assets. So it comes down to asset management. How long has that tractor been in the field? How long has that truck been there? When is it going to potentially break down? All of these are use cases that we work with our clients to be able to improve that supply chain and the logistics experience. How does that fit within the whole end-to-end journey? You start getting, being able to see from your clients right the way back to where that piece of meat or that fruit or vegetable has come from, and that's a really important thing in the customer experience. We had a maritime logistics company that was really interested in understanding, a crate of oranges. How does it actually fit into their supply chain? It comes from the orchard. Eventually, at some stage, it's going to hit their truck. So what we tried to do was build an analytics journey that took the oranges from the orchard to the consumer and then displayed that whole journey.
Is that using blockchain?
You can
Or
use
is it
that.
Mm-hmm.
You can use that. In this instance, we didn't.
Okay.
Blockchain has a wide range of uses, but for this one, it wasn't relevant. But it could be used if your some of the other use cases for blockchain.
So to be able to implement a project like the analytics about the crate, let's go back to the crate of orange, you will have all the actors, all the suppliers and the service providers are all in this project. So they have to work together to be able to secure all the value chain, right?
You would need to be able to do that from end to end, yes. So for the proof of concept, it was not obviously live connections into that. What we were trying to do was to prove that you were able to start doing that tracking. And it all started back with one of our clients, which is on our website, Seatree, where we used computer vision to help with yield management. So flying a drone through the orchard, and it's taking a vision of the oranges and going, oh, that orange is ripe, that orange is ripe, and being able to identify them. That helps with that yield management side of things, so you can start the journey right there.
That's great. If you have an advice for all the people that are going to be watching us at the Foodie Show, what would be in adopting new technology and how fast they can have return on investment? You said in some projects where they actually know they can see it in 3 to 6 months, but what is needed to cross and make that decision?
So a couple of things. The first step is understanding the problem you're trying to solve. We often get seduced by the cool tech and go, oh, wouldn't it be awesome to have this or awesome to have that? We get seduced by the technology. But if we start with those right business questions first and identify the problem you solve, you can then go and take small steps using off-the-shelf technology to prove the value or prove the concept that it's going to work for you. And then once you've done that, look at, well, how do I scale this for my business? What's the benefit going to be? Because by then you'll have a really, really good business case that you can take to lenders, you can take to your investors, shareholders, to be able to really push forward. So my advice is really start with the business question. Make sure you're actually solving a problem that really exists.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Hugh, for your time. If you have any questions for Hugh, make sure that you ask them on a live session. Otherwise, get connected with Hugh. He will be there for 4 months. Take care and have a good day.
Thank you very much.